Among all the famous names that have emerged over the history of music, one stands above almost all others when it comes to defining both quality and respect in terms of instrument creation: Bösendorfer. Since the early 1800s, the name has been synonymous with the greatest pianos ever known to exist, as well as being one of the only manufacturers to create custom-keyed instruments with non-traditional key numbers and tones. Founded in Vienna, Austria in 1828, it took only 2 years for Bösendorfer to be named the official piano maker by the Emperor of Austria. One of the main aspects that set the early models apart from all others was the fact that the people at Bösendorfer did all they could to retain the Vienna style of classical music within the instrument, allowing the volume to increase without sacrificing any of the tone or the mood that it produced. This required both different techniques and building materials to make these instruments, and whether it was the iron frames or the thicker strings, Bösendorfer's were as unique as you could possibly get. These materials led to a much stronger and sturdier exterior of the instrument, and many of the greatest composers quickly turned to the Bösendorfer pianos due to their ability to be played powerfully for longer periods of time. Throughout the mid-1800s, the company quickly gained a larger and larger following all across the world, quickly making the brand one of the most esteemed on the planet. And in 1870, they moved their facility to a new location, and it stayed there until March of 2010, allowing even more lore and legend to be put into the company and their instruments. Around 1900, Bösendorfer proved that they were one of the few companies that still had vision in terms of creating new sounds when they created a custom piano with 97 keys instead of the traditional 88, giving the now legendary Imperial Grand a full 8 octaves of playing range. This innovation led to a slightly modified model with only 92 keys, and the Bösendorfer name became one of the most in-demand concert pianos on the planet, as they allowed for a far more accurate and tonally complete interpretation of many great classical works, mostly those that until that point were only able to be played on pipe organ. But beyond these physical differences, pianos made by Bösendorfer have an absolutely unique sound and tone that can be instantly recognized the second someone starts playing one. Many note that the sound in question is often a bit darker and more full in general, and much of this has to do with the extra keys and strings resonating even when they're not being played, as well as the physical construction of the piano in question. A lot of this can actually be seen as a byproduct of the rim construction of Bösendorfer pianos, as it's like none other in the world, as the company uses solid pieces put together instead of the more traditional approach of simply bending the veneer to fit the form. This process allows for the unique tone that you get from their instruments, and it's one of the many trademark sounds that you can hear only on a Bösendorfer. Over the centuries, everyone from Liszt to Leonard Bernstein, from Oscar Peterson to Nina Simone, from Tori Amos to Stephen Schwartz have all sworn by Bösendorfer pianos. And this is the reason why, after nearly 200 years, there are few names from any part of music history that are worthy of being named in the same breath as Bösendorfer.